In the name of Almighty Allah, most merciful and most compassionate. My dear students, I hope you are all fine, doing good, and life has been treating you well, and you are well ready for today's lesson. So, brothers, keep it in mind that if you want to access our more videos, please subscribe our channel. The channel is Elite Learning Academy. So, in writing a research paper today, we are going to discuss a new topic which is called revised thesis statement, and it is chapter number 11. So, it's provided by Assistant Professor Ahmad Tasal Hazraty, Master of Education in Teaching English to the speakers of other languages. Today we are going to discuss the following question in order to have the better and clear information about the revised thesis statement. The first thing that we are going to clarify is how to revise thesis statement. Although we have studied the preliminary thesis statement, but research is a long process, this is another opportunity for us to revise, to add something or to remove something, or to make it a little bit more general or a little bit more specific. So today we are going to talk about the revised thesis statement. Beside this, is it important to change the thesis statement as you taking notes? If yes, why? If not, why? We will also discuss that can we use the preliminary thesis statement or we must change it. For both cases, we have to provide the reasons. And the last question that we are going to discuss it today is, could we use the preliminary thesis statement or not? So, what is revised thesis statement? When you complete taking notes, then decide whether you want to revise thesis statement or not. Through taking notes, we're coming up with too much ideas. It means we were studying in different sources. We took notes. So now we are very rich of the raw materials. Now, as a researcher, we have to think and decide to whether we should revise the thesis statement or we should use the preliminary one. If you want to change your thesis statement based on the note taking, then add a few sentences and explain why you change your thesis statement in this way. For example, research is a long process and you are moving from knowing little about something and moving to know more about something or problem or gaps or issue. So, if we want to change the preliminary thesis statements, it means we need to add something or we need to delete or remove something, or if you want to make it a little general or if we want to make it a little narrow. So we have to add a few sentences in explaining why we are bringing changes in this way. If you do not want to change your thesis statement and you want to have the preliminary thesis statement, then write the original one and add next to add no change. So we have two ways here. If we want to change, we have to explain and we have to come up with the reason why we are going to change the preliminary one. What is the reason? What do you want to do? And if we don't want to change, so then we have to write the preliminary one, and beside we have to write no changes in the quotation mark. So, many researchers coming that after taking notes and the steps of revised thesis statement, so they can make the thesis statement narrow, because to know little about something and to know more about something, that is different. So to know more about something, many of the researchers can make the problem, the gaps, or the question more specific. In the argumentative research papers, some writers believe that their thesis statement should change and make different claims, occasionally very different from the first one, and the changes should be welcomed. In each process of the research, the changes should be welcomed by the researcher. So, because we are working for the changes, so we have two types of the thesis statement. We have thesis for the argumentative research paper or for the graduate students, and we have the thesis for undergraduate students or for the report research paper. So the argumentative thesis statements most likely to be changed and make a new claim. So while in the report research paper, most of the time the researcher use the preliminary one. Because the purpose of the reading and research is to get new information and ideas, so to know little about some issue and move to know more about issue, this is also necessary to change and revise your ideas and information, or simply we can say to update your ideas and information. So mostly the argumentative thesis is going to be changed and make a new claim because of knowing much more information. So in short, during the process of writing an argumentative research paper, the thesis statement is very likely to be changed. It means for the graduate students, most of the time the researcher going to change the thesis statement in order to make new claim because of having much more information. The thesis statement of the report research paper is less likely to get changes in contrast to the argumentative thesis, but it would be probably be narrowed down more. So to make your mind very clear about the report research paper, the report research paper is not totally changed, but based on the information the researcher can make the thesis a little bit narrow or general. So the first question, as we posted at the start of the lesson, that how to revise thesis statement, that based on the new information, data, and materials, we can change the preliminary one. So the next question was, is it important to change the thesis statement? As you taking note, if yes, why? If not, why? Yes, the changes should be welcome in each step of the research process. So we can change it because an argumentative thesis mostly likely to be changed because of the information, and the report one mostly likely to be narrow or be general. And the last question was, could we use the preliminary thesis statement? Of course we can use the preliminary thesis statement, but if we don't want to bring any changes, we have to write the preliminary thesis statement, and at the end we have to write no changes in the quotation mark. Thank you very much for your keen attention. If you have any question, please post your question and you will receive your answer. Thanks for your watching.